Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of 2 active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. So I have no idea what next week's weather is going to look like, but I wanted to use these just starky snowflakes, the winter flakes, and then I also pulled some Etsy images, and I messed up with my Cricut the first time around, so that's why the stickers are completely cut out, and then the rest are cut correctly. But they are called Winter is Here, and they are from a Planner Life stickers on Etsy. And then, of course, I grabbed some washi tape as well. And I usually start with my sidebar, and I have this long image that I want to put over in the sidebar area. And what's funny is I normally put my meal plans there, but I did not this week. And it's funny because our refrigerator has died, so I'm not sure when I'm going to have groceries again. But I did not like the top of this long sticker, so I did go ahead and trim it off. And it pretty much takes up that whole side area, so I don't have to worry about putting down meal ideas. I did start laying it down, and it got like a crease in it. And because I'm not putting them down on wax paper before I'm putting them down on my page, this sticker paper is very sticky. So I have to grab the undo, otherwise it rips the page. And then I am just grabbing the stickers that I cut completely out on my Cricut and dividing them by size so that it is easier for me to grab them. And there's a couple images and then a few different sizes of the boxes. But I really like the images in this Etsy set, so I wanted to try and use as many as I could without, compromising my planning space. So I was thinking that I could use that sticker for my meal planning, which I don't know if I'll be doing much meal planning. It'll probably be grab something out of the freezer and put it in the oven until we can come have somebody look at the refrigerator. But right now, everything is in coolers on the front porch. And unfortunately, it thought it was supposed to be cold this weekend or this week. And the big snowstorm I thought was coming across, I thought we would get part of it. We live in Ohio, but I'm not sure if we are. So it's the first time all year that I have actually been hoping for cold weather. But we shall see. We will get through it. It could have been a lot worse. My daughter did notice it pretty quickly, so I was able to at least empty the freezer to the deep freeze in the basement. So, like I said, it could have been much, much worse. And those people that are in the storms and dealing with power outages and whatnot, I am sure that they have a lot of other problems to deal with. So I'm thinking of all of them, and I'm sure I can deal with my little refrigerator problem. So I did get that box down and some washi tape, and now you're going to see me take the backing off the sticker sheet. I have a really hard time getting clear stickers off, so I decided to just go ahead and take the backing off instead of fighting the sticker sheet. I did cut it so that I could leave the name of the sticker sheet on there in case I did not use all of the snowflakes on this page. I would know what they were called later. I'm not sure it's a big deal since I still had a whole other sheet of snowflakes that I could refer to, but I did want to keep that up at the top. So I am just going to use a snowflake to cover up the whiteout spot. I wish the sidebar was just completely clear, and I don't mind that the top part is dots and the bottom part is lines, but I wish there was no text at all on that left sidebar. It would just make my weeks go easier because I very rarely use the section dividers as Happy Planner has them. I am going to go ahead and trim the snowflakes so that it goes around the box, and then I got my pages stuck together. And I will put that little leftover corner of a snowflake into the bottom corner. I do try my best to get the most mileage out of all of the stickers that I have. So I did just go ahead and stick that down there. And then I also debated on whether or not I wanted to make the header of that box bigger, but since I'd already put the snowflake down, I did not make it bigger. And then I grabbed my flowers and notes sticker book and grabbed a dinner sticker. Sometimes those words do come in handy, even though I do not use them very often. And so I have a training event on the 27th and 28th that I have to do for work. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I got that marked off. And I want to be able to put the details in for that. It's very weird times because it's Pacific time. So I need to be able to write all the details in the planner and not just like you have a meeting. So I want to make a big box for that. And I try not to have things just floating around. So I like to use my washi tape to ground things. And then as you can see, I'm using my pokey tool to poke through the back of the sticker paper so that I can get that sticker paper off. Because I messed up and cut those boxes the way that I did on my Cricut, that is the only way I'm going to be able to get that paper, that backing off. So yes, the poker tool into the back of the sticker paper, and then it just pulls right off. And the other big thing for the week is the kids are off school on Friday, which I'm not really sure why, but apparently they are, and I am just realizing this as I'm doing this layout, and I'm feeling like I probably should plan something for that day instead of us just sitting around and hanging out. The downfall is I do know that my son still has soccer on Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure just a game in the morning on Saturday and then a late practice on Sunday. So maybe we'll be able to sneak away, or maybe he'll skip his game on Saturday. I don't know. But I would like to try to get away a little bit. And then again, I am trying to stretch these stickers. I don't really know why. I don't need to stretch them because I did order 2 sheets of these snowflake stickers, but I'm always trying to stretch my stickers. So I did just cut, it's a little bit smaller than half, but I just want to be able to spread them out throughout the page. And I do end up only using 1 sheet of the snowflake stickers so that I will be able to use them again. Hopefully not this year. Hopefully I won't have any other snow spreads to do, but I will have an extra sheet when I want them. And before I get too involved in doing more decorating, I do want to get some lines down this week, and I just have the sampler stencil from Krissyanne Designs, and it has 5mm, 6mm, 7mm, and 1/4 inch lines. I think I decided I was going to use the 6mm lines this week. I do want to get a full stencil of all the different sizes now that I know that the quality of the stencil is good. I had only purchased the 5mm stencil, which I love, but I also want to get the other 3 sizes. The downfall of the sampler is there are only 4 lines in each grouping, and so I have to move the stencil in order to do all the lines that I want to do. 4 lines are not enough for me to do throughout the day, and I have mentioned that I frequently use more than 1 line for a single to-do item. I freehand a box, and then I take as many lines as I need to write down my to-do list. And right now I am just trying to finish up this little cluster here so I know how high to put my lines. So far I've just put that Let It Snow box and then a gray box, and I was looking for something to put inside the gray box, and I found this Get It Done, and I just thought I would put in a snowflake as well. And once I get that down, I feel like the Get It Done is just not taking up enough space of that box. So I did grab my pen and just draw some freehand lines. I don't necessarily love it, but I like that it takes up a little bit more real estate of that box. And then I'm going to go ahead and get these lines put down. And I love this stencil, but The couple things are the lines are wider than the boxes are. So you need to be aware of how far you're drawing, or you have to draw where you start in the middle of the line and then end at the end of the line, if that makes sense, so that your pen naturally stops. I don't really care that the lines aren't perfectly lined up at the beginning and the end, so that doesn't bother me. But as you can see, my pen is also running out. However, I wanted to also mention that, as you can see, I have to shift the stencil around just in order to get all the lines that I want to get with the sampler. On the full size 5mm, there are a ton of lines. I will never use that many lines. I love it. So that is why I want to get one of each size. But let's go ahead and skip the rest of the lines on this side of the spread. And then I just wanted to fill in some of the space below the lines. I did just grab this quote from the watercolor sticker book from Happy Planner. And again, I will white out with a Jelly Roll pen. I do let it dry a little bit, but through the magic of editing, you don't have to watch paint dry with me. And then I'm just going to grab a couple little box stickers that really only have lines on the top and bottom, which I kind of thought were cool. It's something a little different, so I thought I'd put those down there with Best Week Ever. I just wanted to make a little grouping down there so that it covered up some of that area. Again, I'm not sure what I'll write in those boxes necessarily, but I'm sure that I'll be able to think of something as the week progresses. Well, I already thought of something. Turns out we're going to have a refrigerator repair person come at some point, so maybe I will put that in those boxes. And then I'll get a couple snowflakes down just to complete that area. And then I will just clear off my desk just a tiny bit so that I can get an overview of the week. I'm never quite sure when I start what I'm going to do, so I frequently take breaks to just look at my spread and decide where I want to go. I, of course, cut those out because nobody wants to sit there and stare at the page with me. I also frequently get distracted by my kids or my husband. As long as I am not actively talking during a video, anyone will come talk to me at any time, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It is what it is, especially when I tape in an open loft area. Right now I am hiding in my bedroom doing a voiceover. So I'm moving over to the right side of the page, and you'll see that one of the nice things about not cutting things out correctly on my Cricut is it's much easier to lay things out and visualize them before you stick them down. You don't have to use wax paper or anything like that. You can just move the embellishments and the boxes around and decide where you want them. So once I got that laid out the way I liked it, I did go ahead and put another piece of washi tape down so that it would ground it, and then I laid those stickers down. And my plan for this side is to put the lines towards the bottom of the page and kind of cover up that whole middle section. I will leave the top area for any plans that we have for the week. So now that I have the grouping the way that I like it, I am going to go ahead and put the lines in on this side. Again, I am not going to fill up the entire box with lines. I know that I will be at work at least 3 days this week. And again, my kids are off on Friday, so I don't want to have a full day of tasks to do. I'd like to try and spend some time with them. And then on the weekends, I do like to just group my lines. I usually treat those tasks as one long task list. And then I just grabbed the watercolor sticker book again and wanted to flip through and see what else I wanted to use out of it. I am a big fan of stickers that say something about the weekend. I'm not sure what it is, but I do like to denote that it is the weekend. So I did grab the sticker that said Hello Weekend. And then I also really liked the circle stickers. So I grabbed 3 small ones, one that says Hooray, one that says Happy Place, and one that said Note to Self. And I just wanted to use those throughout the page. So I started with the grouping that is going to go below the items on Saturday and Sunday, and I will probably put something weekend related here, whether it's like to-dos and an arrow up to the to-do lists, or the making all the plan stuff, or something along those lines. But that's normally what I put on the weekends. Really, I don't get a chance to do much YouTube or Instagram stuff, although my Instagram stuff has been lacking, but I don't get a chance to do much of that during the week right now. It actually might get easier when when my son starts soccer, because I will be sitting in the car for longer periods of time and not trying to get things done around the house. But for now, really, the weekends are when I have a chance to work on this stuff. So that's why I like to put a few extra boxes. I did decide to cut down this sticker. I didn't like how much extra, there is a door behind her, but I didn't like how much extra design there was above her head, and I really wanted to get the sticker in. So I just auditioned it in a few different places before it ends up on the right side of the page in that cluster on like the Thursday, Friday area. I did move her around off camera. I scooted her over just a hair, but I did have to get my undo out and move her. And then I did shorten that washi tape just a little bit so that it wasn't going over that sticker. It just looked awkward, so I just ripped it off a little bit. And then, like I said, I love these stickers, so I wanted to get as many of them in as possible. And I had some circles spread throughout the page, so I figured, why not cut one of these sticker images into a circle? And I have plenty of circle punches in my scrapbook stash, so I went ahead and cut one of the girls' faces out in a circle. And it does end up off the side of the page, just where I placed it, the way that I liked it. So I will just trim off the edge. So it's not a complete circle, but it still has that circular feel. I probably, if I had to go back and modify my page, which at this point I probably won't, but I would put another circle somewhere in the sidebar. But for now, I think that is fine. I'm not going for perfection here. I am going for functional. So I will go ahead and get her down and trim off the extra. So I do take a moment to look at the spread, and I like how it looks, but I'm not loving that gap under the box on Tuesday. And I still have some more of the girl stickers, or at least one more girl sticker. But again, I don't love how much of her legs are showing. I don't need a super big box again when I have that huge one on the sidebar. So I do just trim her down so that I can see the top half of her and tuck her under the box on Tuesday. And then I just want a few more things to fill in. So I grabbed this sticker, which again, I have a hard time getting up clear stickers, but it says "so cool," and I put it in the box that it overlaps Thursday and Friday. And I didn't get it straight the first time, so I had to grab my undo. It was really sticky on these boxes. So I did get it down pretty straight, but I did rip the box a little bit below. I am just going to go with it. And then I flipped through just one more time on the watercolor sticker book, and I decide, I still have the rest of these snowflakes. I should get them down around the page. So I wish I would have had some more small snowflakes to fill in, and I could have printed some out on the Cricut, but really I can only spend so much time on a spread, right? So I did use the big ones. I just trimmed them in places. I tried to put the wax paper down and overlap the snowflake, but it didn't quite work the way I was hoping it would. So I did just go ahead and trim that off and pick it up off of the sticker below. Thankfully, it didn't get too stuck. And so I just tuck one on Wednesday, And even though I pulled up that backing, I am still struggling to get those stickers up. But I just audition them to where I think I'll like them before I put them down. Some I trim, some I don't. There is really no rhyme or reason to when I did trim and when I didn't trim. I just tried to sit back and try and look to see where it would go best on the page. That one I put down and it wasn't exactly where I wanted it to go, but I knew I wasn't moving it without an undo, and at this point I didn't want to have to wait for the undo to dry, so I just left it where it was. This one I did put down, I trimmed it to put it down, and I also decided that I would put a little washi tape with it. There was no rhyme or reason to when I whited out the lines and when I didn't. It just seemed like sometimes they were distracting and sometimes they weren't. So I guess that's when I decided to white out the lines. But all in all, I really like this spread. It's one of the favorites that I have done in quite a while. Again, I think it might snow this week, but when I did it, I really had no idea whether or not it would snow. I just really wanted to use the snowflake stickers. But I hope that everyone is having a great end of February and are excited to start March. I am definitely ready for the weather and ready for soccer to really pick up and start. I hope everyone has a great week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!